and welcome to another episode of Straight Talk with the Mahindra Racing gang. It's been a while since I hosted one of these. In fact, the last one was the Alexander Sims driver announcement. You're still here. That's good.
Yes, thank you very much. Made it this far into the season.
Great, and Oliver Rowland is here as well, of course. And you two guys, we're filming this in the middle of the break between Mexico City and Rome. First 3 rounds, Oliver, how did they go for you?
Yeah, reasonably good. I don't think we got the end results that maybe we had the potential for in all 3 races, but I think we've showed signs of good speed. The car feels good, you know, just getting used to the team and understanding everything a little bit. And I think there's lots of positives moving forward. And yeah, enjoying it.
How has the welcoming process been? Lovely?
Yeah, good, yeah. I mean, it's been quite a while that I've been here now, obviously, since the last race in Berlin, so I was in the week after that, and then so just getting to know everybody and obviously working with the engineers and trying to build a good relationship, and also with Alexander and yeah, just pushing everybody as far on as we can go, I guess.
And how's that relationship going? Lovely?
Yeah, it's good. Still building. No, it's good. I mean, it's been, I think, better than probably last season when I joined the team with COVID, because there were just so few times that I actually was in the factory with Alex at the same time. So now we've had a few more chances to have simulator days together, and yeah, the progress that we've been making since Ollie's come on board, bringing his ideas and experiences, has been good. So looking forward to the future.
And how were your first 3 rounds?
I'll be completely honest that they've been relatively poor in terms of results. We've had 2 DNFs, which have been my mistakes. So it's been a pretty poor start of the season from my side of things. But the underlying package, I would say, is decent. Qualifying in Mexico was good. We were very close to making it through to the duels. Had it not been for a little bit of traffic in the last sector. So, I mean, we're close. We had good race pace in Riyadh. So I think it definitely can do better, but the ingredients are there.
Did you enjoy the duels? You were in them in, what, all of the races, both times?
Not in Mexico.
Well, not in Mexico, but both in Saudi, yeah.
Yeah, I did. I mean, I didn't go very far in them, but yeah, I enjoyed them. I think it's a bit different. Obviously, now I find like qualifying is a build-in rather than a one-hit wonder. So you kind of have to build through the first run in obviously the group stage. Then the second run you get a second chance with all your references. So everybody is very much on the limit. So you need to really push the envelope in the second run, and then obviously the duel is an evolution on that. So you're really, by that time you turn up the power and you're properly having it.
Well, we are here to talk about tracks because we have got 3 new tracks coming up in the remainder of the year. We've got Jakarta, we have got Vancouver, and we have got Seoul. So we'll start with the 4th of June, Jakarta. The first time there's been a FIA motor race in Indonesia since 2006 A1GP. You'll never guess who won that race. I think you'll just never guess. It was a.
If you stated that we'll never guess it, then we won't.
You can have a go. Any ideas at all?
Loic Duval.
Johnny Reed. I don't really remember Johnny Reed as a driver.
I remember him in A1.
Oh, really? Okay. It was a little bit before so I looked it up just now on Wikipedia. Oh, okay. Salvador Duran finished 2nd in the sprint race. Remember him. Jakarta then. I think it looks like an interesting circuit, and I think the weather's going to be really interesting. 32 degrees are the averages in June in Jakarta. Do you like a hot race?
Gotta be honest, I prefer it wasn't massively hot. No, I think all of us sat in the cars, particularly on the grid. I always find you just sat there waiting, especially when it's humid. You know, it just gets to you, and there's nothing you can do to start cooling down, and it's just a race of attrition physically to try and get to the end before you wane.
Yeah, how tough are those hot races? You did quite well in Sanya last time we were there, which feels sort of similar conditions.
Yeah, I hate hot races because I generally just a little bit too hot, to be honest. But yeah, I think what's different maybe this year on the technical side is we have more power, so the batteries have the tendency to overheat a little bit more. So that could be on the technical side a challenge when we go to Jakarta. On the other side, I think in Formula E it's not like a massively physical car to drive, so you don't get exhausted and tired physically. But for sure, mentally, if it's quite a challenging circuit, you know, when it gets hot like that, it gets more easy to make mistakes towards the end of the races.
Okay. There are over 130 shopping malls in Jakarta. Do you like shopping?
No.
No.
No, neither of you. That's just a straight no.
Short conversation.
Yeah. Okay.
Sorry,
Well,
that didn't really open you
thank
up.
you for joining us for this episode of Straight Talk. No, that's fine. It was just a thought. We'll move on from Jakarta then, shall we? The next new track is going to be in Vancouver, and that is at the beginning of July. Have either of you been to Canada? Let's start with that.
Never.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been there, raced there.
Where have you raced?
On Mid-Ohio? No.
Mosport?
No, Mosport. That's it. I knew there was an M. I was like, no. Ohio's America. Yeah, Mosport, that's it. That's what I was thinking. I was thinking of COTA, but I was like, no, it's Canadian Tire Motorsport Park, I think. But yeah, really, really awesome track that is. That's probably one of my favourites of all time, actually.
Really?
1, 2, 3 is just absolutely bonkers, like 5th gear, high downforce with a crest, compression is mad. But only raced there once.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's near Toronto, I think. But I've never been to Vancouver.
What was that in?
GTLM in IMSA.
Nice. Well, this track in Vancouver is sort of around a harbour, sort of Monaco style, right in the heart of the city. It looks like a cool location.
Yeah, if you look from the outside, the track map looks quite a lot like the Monaco track map. So yeah, it should be cool. I mean, I think there's they've got a big festival going on there with a lot of fan interaction. So I think it's going to be exciting for us all to get there and hopefully do a good job.
Yeah, it seems like it's going to be a sort of a template almost for Formula E races going forwards, with all of the surrounding concerts and celebrations of e-mobility and that sort of thing, which is kind of what Formula E is meant to do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I think it's good to celebrate the message that we're putting out there, show the local areas that we're visiting, put on proper demonstrations of all these new technologies and what they can do, and get the local people to interact with it. So I think, celebrating everything is pretty cool.
And can you look at tracks ahead of time and work out whether you're going to be strong or not, or does Formula E kind of change so fluidly that it's difficult? You're still sort of learning the car every weekend to a degree.
I think you can know your tracks that you should be a little bit better on based on what your strengths and weaknesses are. I think last year, for example, struggling a little bit. With the team I was in last year, we struggled a little bit on the efficiency side. So any long circuits with long straights, you knew were going to be difficult. Whereas I think here we tend to have a pretty good car in slow speed corners and a pretty efficient car as well. So that is a bit the opposite to what I was used to. So I think if you look at some circuits and say they're a bit slower, tight and twisty with long straights, then that should suit us quite well. But yeah, it's very hard to say. We've been competitive in Saudi, and that's quite a quick track. So
yeah,
there's never any sort of hard and fast rules, are there? You
No.
get a bit of a feeling, but depending on what the tarmac surface is like, temperature, how it's easy or difficult it is to warm up the tyres, there's so many different factors involved that you can never really know. It's just a bit of a gut feeling that it might be slightly better or worse.
and how's that as a driver? Because with Formula E, when you go to a new track, there's often little or zero information about it. If you're going to race at Spa for the first time in your career, you can kind of know everything about it before you go there. But Formula E, you're getting quite thrown in at the deep end almost, especially like a Sanya or something like that. How prepared are you when you arrive? Obviously, as prepared as possible, but compared to going to Spa or Barcelona or something.
Well, I'd say compared to other motorsport series where you can even go and do test days in the same car on similar conditions a year before or whatever, where you can be massively prepared. We turn up hugely underprepared in a way. We obviously spend as much time as possible in the simulator, so we as drivers have a good understanding of where to go, what our braking references are likely to be, but you can quite easily get to the track and some of the information that was put into the simulator model has changed. They've resurfaced sections. There isn't a bump here or there, or they've added that in by resurfacing it, which ends up making quite a big difference to your preparation and how realistic it is. So certainly, I think any new circuit we go to, that first practice session, I feel myself, it's quite a uphill battle to try and get on top of everything, because the level that you want to be operating at to execute like a good qualifying lap. But yeah, you've got to make big jumps in all your braking points and understanding the corner.
Part of the challenge that's quite exciting, I think.
And that's way more so because you speak to some. I know when Formula One goes to a new track, and you say, "Oh, how long?" And they, 5 or 6 laps, and you're pretty much up to speed. Is it sort of completely different in FE, way longer?
Yeah, because it requires confidence. I think there's walls. Usually, there's walls around the track in every corner. So, if you really want to be on 100%, you need to build your way up there and have confidence in the car and what's underneath you. So, I think on a circuit where the runoff's massive and you have no real fear of the track biting you, it takes slightly longer than that. I mean, it's 5 or 6 laps to understand a track, and I think to get the final small details is usually a little bit longer than that.
But also in FE, when you say 5 or 6 laps, with 2 half-hour practice sessions with different power modes to do race preparation laps as well, we probably do 6 push laps in FP1 and a similar amount in FP2. So, the F1 would go somewhere and have like 4.5 hours of practicing. And so there's no pressure in that respect to get on top of it quickly, whereas us, it's just so limited, and the track's changing so much because it's a street circuit. There's just so much to get on top of, so it's a huge challenge.
We only have 2 sets of tyres, so the tyre temperature is super hot, and then you put a cold set on and go 1 second faster, and the track goes 1 second faster. It's just it's mad to follow it sometimes.
Sounds stressful. Sounds very stressful. The last new race is the 13th and 14th of August, the final race weekend of the season in Seoul, South Korea. Either of you been to South Korea?
No.
No. Either of you excited to go to South Korea?
Yeah?
Yeah?
Because we were supposed to go there, a couple of seasons ago?
Yeah, I think so, before the pandemic and everything, yeah.
So no, that was a shame to not be able to travel then, but certainly looking forward to experiencing.
It looks pretty busy, the track, from what I've seen, I think.
Yeah, it's sort of like a few straights around the stadium, and then it all goes a bit higgledy-piggledy.
But yeah, no, it should be good. Again, I think it could be a bit of a challenging one on the weather side. Usually going out there should be pretty hot and humid, I guess, and maybe stormy sometimes and things like that. So pretty interested on that side. And then yeah, I mean, it's a long way away, so it's hard to think about those sorts of tracks. It's the last rounds.
Oh, you mean in terms of time rather than distance?
You start to think of tracks and places the closer you get to them. At the moment, for us, I think Rome is very much in our head.
Is it literally one race at a time, like everyone says, or are you...
It's the majority of the focuses, but you have to almost keep on... you don't want to arrive for the prep and the next track and things are completely wrong and things like that. So you kind of want to have almost one eye on that just to make sure everything's okay. But in the moment, I guess it's full focus on the race ahead.
Yeah. Well, I'm sorry for distracting you so much in this chat. You'll get to Rome and you'll be like, oh, it's not as hot as I was expecting.
Blame Jack.
Yeah, exactly. Dilbag blames me most of the time. Finally, Hyderabad. It's exciting for Mahindra. It looks like that's going to be coming onto the Formula E calendar, and for Mahindra to have a home race would be really cool.
Yeah, I think it'd be amazing. I think it'd mean a huge amount to be able to bring racing to the fans in India. We have massive support from everyone in India and around the world. But having joined this team, it's amazing the level of.
Really, is it that noticeable?
The fans in India, they're really passionate, and so I think it'd be awesome to go and meet some of them.
I think the support already has been fantastic, and you see integrating with the passioneers and the things like that the team's done. I think it would be good to go back and sort of reignite those fans and try and gain as much support for Mahindra. And obviously, when we're there, it's going to be a great atmosphere. So. Yeah, we'll be looking forward to it a lot.
Well, thank you very much to Alexander Sims and Oliver Rowland for joining us for another episode of Straight Talk. Thank you for watching or listening. There's loads more episodes if you go back on the Mahindra YouTube page, and we'll see you next time.